Today I'm going to talk about ITC's flagship CSR initiative, which has multiple impacts with one initiative. And I think after my presentation, the NGOs here and the companies who have the CSR can think about it and can implement these kind of initiatives in the urban local bodies. So I think you all know about ITC.
Awards list.
ITC is the only company with the comparable dimensions in sustainability. Water conservation positive for 22 years in a row. Carbon sequestration positive for 19 years in a row. And solid waste recycling positive for the last 17 years. And well-being out of waste is a CSR initiative. As I told you, it's a flagship initiative. We have started this initiative in 2007, and we are spread across in 6 states, and mostly in South India, southern part of India, and Delhi. And we are covering almost about 42 urban local bodies, covering about 1,645 wards, and we have outreached almost 27 million citizens on educating them on segregation of waste, wet, dry, and domestic hazardous waste. And also, we are working with the children, and we have educated school children, about 7.1 million school children. And we are working with the corporates like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, and all, about 2,000 plus corporates. So every year, through this program, we divert almost 60,000 metric tons of dry recyclable waste. Otherwise, it would have been ended in the landfills. And collection and recycling of about 15,000 plus metric tons of low-value plastics. That means which cannot be recycled. So these plastics also being collected and properly co-processed. And over 20,000 metric ton of waste paper collected and recycled every year. I am working with the large corporates and government institutions. And another major intervention is with working with the waste collectors, waste handlers, rack pickers. We are working with almost 18,000 plus waste handlers across these ULBs, and we have enhanced their livelihoods. So why we should implement this program? We are almost, so India is about 1.4 billion population, as you all know, and we are generating about 1,60,000 tons of garbage every day. And this 1,60,000 tons of garbage is in a mixed form. It's not segregated, it's mixed, so it cannot be processed. It has to be just dumped. Now, if you can see, state governments are coming up with a solution for this, that people are not segregating the waste. So you all know that 2014 Swachh Bharat mission has been implemented. Till date, it's 10 years, but still we are unable to cover this, all the urban local bodies and the households, and inculcate the habit of source segregation. So they are coming up with the waste to energy plants, which is another hazardous thing. You all know how Delhi is suffering with the waste to energy plants. So you can see that 29,000 tons every day is dumped in the landfills without any processing, because once the waste is mixed, it cannot be processed. And you all know these landfills emit greenhouse gases like methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and all. And according to World Bank, India's daily waste generations will reach 3,77,000 tons by 2030. That means it will double. So currently we are unable to process this 1,60,000 tons. Not only process, cannot handle it. So once it is double, what happens to our India? Just think about it. Every household, a 4-member family in metro cities will generate about 2 kgs of garbage. In these 2 kgs, 60% is organic waste, which can be converted into compost and applied to the kitchen garden. 30% of the dry waste that can be easily stored or kept in your home, and once in a month you can give to some kabadiwala and you will get some money out of revenue out of it. And also 5% e-waste. Now e-waste is also recyclable. And only the 5% hazardous, domestic hazardous waste like diapers, napkins, shaving blades, medical waste, all these can be wrapped in a newspaper and given to the waste collector so that he will keep it separately and this can be handled separately. So, but what we are doing, we are mixing up everything and we are the responsible for building all these landfills. So, the objectives of our program, well-being out of waste, is to inculcate the habit of source segregation among the citizens and create sustainable livelihoods to the waste handlers and conserve natural resources and protect environment, recover the dry recyclable resource and recycle and make it available to the all recycling industries as a raw material and encourage wet waste composting at home level, community level and ultimately create Swachh Bharat. So the model, this is a CSR, so we implement through NGOs. We appoint an NGOs in the local NGOs who have a ground presence in the wherever we implement in that location. So these NGOs will tie up with the municipal corporations or urban local bodies and the stakeholders like waste collectors, households, schools, colleges, bulk waste generators, they work with them. Only motive is to source segregate the waste at every stakeholder level. And also they appoint the propagation executives, community resource persons who go to house and educate the households on source segregation of waste and they ensure that the household is segregate the waste at their source and the waste collectors, they collect the waste also at the vehicle level and bring it to the dry resource collection centers where these centers are created by the urban local bodies but operated by the self-help groups or social entrepreneurs. And again this dry waste is channelized to the franchises. From there it goes to the recycling industries. These are the NGOs we are working and this is a concept, generally this is a concept, waste to dry waste, wet waste, domestic hazardous waste. Dry waste means nothing but paper, plastic, metal, glass which can be recycled and which cannot be recycled will go for co-processing. Wet waste can be composted at our home, at our community level or at the sanitary landfill site level and it can be applied to the kitchen garden. Domestic hazardous waste, it's only the waste which cannot be composted, it cannot be recycled. So it has to be co-processed in the cement plants or waste to energy plants. So this is the implementation methodology. We go to the households and educate the households and ensure they segregate the waste and the waste collectors also collect the segregated waste in a segregated form and they bring this waste to the dry resource collection centers where the social entrepreneurs or self-help groups buy this waste from the waste collectors and further value add this, further segregate into different varieties of suppose plastic into 10 to 12 grades, paper into 5 to 6 grades and metal, glass, everything they segregate and they channelize to the recycling industries. So to do this, as I told you, we need the community resource persons. We pick up from each ward and we train them and another key stakeholder is the waste collector. We also train the waste collector because the waste collector should not mix it up once the household segregate the waste. So this is a very, very key in the entire value chain. So the waste collectors, they also segregate the waste at the home level, vehicle level and bring it to the dry resource collection. We work with for their welfare and well-being. Mostly like our main objective is to improve their livelihoods. Means today if they are earning 50 to 100 rupees on dry waste, they can earn up to 1000 to 2000 rupees once it is segregated. If it is in a mixed form, they can earn only 100 rupees. If it is segregated, they can earn up to 1000 rupees. So this is how we improve the quality of the dry waste by segregation and also the value is created is also to the dry waste so that this value goes to the waste handlers. And welfare, we distribute the PPE kits and health camps, all these will be organized. And also to the women waste handlers also we do the menstrual hygiene programs, health camps and all. So the children of the waste collectors will get the educational kits every year and they will use for their educational purpose. So these are the dry resource collection centers. The space will be given by the urban local body. We spend through CSR funds and we create this kind of infrastructure because the urban local bodies nowadays they don't have any funds. They say everything aap karo bhaiya, mere paas kuch nahi hai, mere paas zameen hai bas. So they gave this land So we create the entire sheds, machinery, equipment like sorting plants, baling machines, collection vehicles, everything will be done by ITC under CSR initiative. So the wet waste processing, again it is supported by some CSR companies, and they convert the wet waste into biofuel and biogas. So once we start this program in any urban local body, as I told you, every stakeholder need to be educated. So once we go to the home, the children are not available. They go to their schools. The college students, they go to the college, and office goers at the office. So what we do, not only household, we reach out each and every stakeholder of that family. That means we go to the school and educate the school children, and we form WOW clubs in the schools. And these children are like WOW ambassadors. They in turn come to their home and educate the family members, and they take up the responsibility of segregation of the waste. And once they segregate the waste, they bring all these waste to the school and exchange with the new notebooks and stationery. And this is a very large program. As I told you, we are covering about almost 70 million children, 7 million children, and every year these children bring their waste and exchange with the new notebooks and stationery, and this is called Inter-School Recycling Championship. And for the college students, we have 145. I Love India. I have seen many students from Anurag University volunteering here. But if I tell them to come to the field and do the propagation for me, they may not turn up because they are working on the waste. So what I have done, we have to have some emotional or sentimental touch. So if you love India, you have to do something for India. If I go any college and tell them, you love India? Yes, I love. What do you want to do with the, if you love India? Means they say that, I want to join army, I want to do this, that. I'll just give you 1 hour, 2 hours a day. Then it is enough. Do a bit. First you segregate the waste at your home. Then you educate your neighbors. Then at your college. That's enough. You can bring a change and you can save the planet. See, this is called 145. If you love India, one means one minute per day. What you can do 1 minute per day? Just you can segregate the waste at your home. And 4 hours per week, just you have to volunteer, go and reach out in your community and educate at least 10 households and ensure that they segregate the waste. And since we have to reach out entire India, you have to inspire at least 5 volunteers like you, passionate volunteers like you, so that we can reach out every town, every city, and every state, and entire India. So this is our I Love India program, and we have almost about 25,000 volunteer network only in Hyderabad. So every city we have volunteers, college volunteers. And for office also we have zero waste offices, Swachh Karyalaya, all these programs we go to offices and educate the office corporate employees also. So the colonies, model colonies, the Atmanirbhar colonies, where the waste is zeroed down at their level only, at the community level only. The dry waste is taken by us or the waste handlers, and the wet waste is converted into compost at the community level. So the zero waste colonies. So this is the overall impact. If you can implement, see, there are 4,582 urban local bodies in India. And we have, I don't know what is the number of corporates we have. Under CSR, if we can take up one ULB, like ITC has taken up 42 ULBs. If you can take up one ULB, that ULB will become zero waste ULB. So 4,582 corporates can come together and they can adopt each ULB and implement these kind of programs, and this will save our motherland, save the planet. You see the impact of this program. Well-being out of waste means nothing but we work on source segregation of waste only. So ULB's cost reduction in the waste management, the transportation cost, processing cost. In Hyderabad itself, for transportation and processing, Hyderabad spends around 400 to 500 crores every year, the GHMC spends. So if the waste is segregated, they need not spend this much. They have to spend only the 5% of that what they are spending now. And income for the waste collectors from 100, 200 rupees, it will go up to 1,000 rupees per month, and improves health, per day, 1,000 rupees per day. So improves health and hygiene and create jobs, green jobs, like I am here, standing over here because of this initiative. And I have almost 500 people working in my project across these 6 states, directly. And indirectly, about 1,000 people are working. So create wealth for small waste traders and opportunities for entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, startup companies can come into the space and manage the recyclable waste, put up plants, recycling plants, and put up processing plants, segregation plants, aggregation plants. They can do, a lot of scope is there. Many entrepreneurs can come into this space and encourage home composting, encourage home composting and kitchen garden. Recycling saves, energy, water, trees, and reduces carbon dioxide. Raw materials for recycling, availability of raw material for recycling industries. Now, India is importing only paper, about 8 million tons every year, because we don't segregate. 8 million tons every year by shelling out almost $2 billion foreign exchange, just for importing the waste paper. We are not buying gold or diamonds. We are importing the waste paper. So if you can segregate the waste, the paper means you think only newspapers, magazines, and notebooks. No. Right from the matchbox to the carton boxes, everything is paper. 5,000 varieties of paper is going into the landfills every day. So if you can segregate, we can recycle, we can recover and recycle at our domestic recycling industry. We need not import. Likewise, saving our landfill sites, and tourism also improves, because if India becomes clean and green, then tourism improves multifold. So ultimately saves natural resources and saves the planet. So these are the impact, overall impact on just by doing a segregation. If all companies under CSR, if they can work, because government cannot do this. Government has other works to do. And only the corporates, NGOs can come together, join hands, and work on this, because उन लोगों ने hands raise कर दिया, हमारे से नहीं होता बोलकर. Now civil society and citizens, corporates should come together and adopt these municipalities and ensure that they segregate the waste and they collect the waste separately and process it in a separate manner. And also we can zero down each and every, right from home to our colony, town, and city. So this is for our future generations. And we have borrowed all these natural resources from our future generations. So we need to give them plus, not minus. So let's join together and let livable environment for our future generations. Thank you very much.